This month of September, House of Praise presents Making It Champions, an annual empowerment conference with renowned speakers and musical artists. Join us on Sunday, September 13th.
Welcome to the webinar. My name is Llyane Stanfield, and today I decided to run the webinar a little differently than I did the past few times. So you were seeing, I guess, a spreadsheet, not a spreadsheet, but a document you would read with me, or I guess I would explain and you'd have something on the screen, and that works sometimes doesn't work as well. And so because I received quite a bit of questions, quite a few questions today about this topic, I really wanted to be a little closer to you rather than, you know, interfacing our discussion with a piece of paper or a PDF, so that I can address a little better the questions that I received from you. And yeah, the topic today is how to start speaking French in 2 days. And I did receive, and I keep looking at this. Let me just, actually, I should log in to see. I keep receiving questions. So I'm going to address the questions as well, like quicker than last time. So my name is Llyane Stanfield. For those of you who don't know me, I am teaching French on Skype, and I've been coaching French now for quite bit of time, and I've been doing this with people from, I think, about 25 countries. So it was quite amazing. It is amazing. I love doing what I do. And what frustrates me is that you are frustrated. What frustrates me, I am with you in your frustration. And most of the people have the impression that, you should learn a lot of words. And because if you learn a lot of words, then you should be able to speak the language, because the language is made out of words. But it's not so. We need a number of words in order to make, the basic sentences. But then in French, we don't need as many words as in English. French works so much better with context, not so much better, but French is a contextual language. So the way it works, you oftentimes need to explain rather than having a word that is specialized for the particular idea that that you want to express. So I was talking to one of my students, and we were laughing because, for instance, I could write a whole story using the word serviette, which means three things, and it's feminine in all three cases: napkin, towel, and suitcase. Not suitcase, briefcase. And so I could create a story that is using this word. I mean, without you knowing which one of the three is. So, the punchline would be, either is a briefcase or a napkin or a towel. And so and I probably do that. I'm going to write a blog with 3 stories, or maybe 3 consecutive blog posts, just to show you how important the context is in French. In English, we can't do that. So this is why I'm saying that you shouldn't learn more words. Most of the people that are coming to me are coming already knowing some French. Out of the hundreds of people that I worked with so far, I think I had only 2 students who did not know any French at all. They started from absolute zero, and that's quite rare. Not that it doesn't happen. There are a lot of people out there not knowing French, but typically people start on their own anyway, and so you get some vocabulary. You want to play with it a little bit before you get a coach or a tutor. So this is the reason you will know sometimes more than enough words than you need, and still you would be focusing on learning words because this is what you know from English. So in English, we have specialized words, and the words are coming with a context, whereas in French, the context many times creates the meaning of the word. And so learning a language comes with words and verbs and grammar, but it also comes with phrase construction. So there are a few tricks that I share in my programs that are enough for you to really jump levels from whatever level you are at right now to your next level, right? So for instance, if you are level A1 or A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. Now, this is also very subjective because a lot of people are, I guess, more comfortable with verbs. Some of the people are more comfortable with vocabulary. Other people are speaking faster than they're writing. Others are staying into the writing much more until they get the courage to speak. And so everybody remembers different things. So it's not real. That's why I'm saying to get to your next level, because everybody's level, everybody's A1 is different. Everybody's A2 is different. But there are little secrets that you need to know in order to really make the most out of what you already know. So I have here my laptop, and I'm gonna start by answering the questions. I'm gonna just do it differently this time. So Terry says, "Hi, Llyane. I am very interested in the 2-day program you announced. Can you please give more details about it?" Sure. For this, I think I have to share my screen. Just a second. Let me just see where that is. Not here. Okay. So I'm going to show you first where, okay, got it. I'm going to show you first where that is on the website. Let me see. I'm just going to share this here and here. There you go. All right. So here you have the program from the right. And the program from the right is Joëlette Eclair, which is the fastest in that appears to be the fastest, right? So now the left and right, so the first number 1 and number 2 are the intensive, which most of you are familiar with, which is the complete, the most comprehensive program. And then the second, it's the speedy, so the accéléré, which it's for the self-study ninja. So a lot of people who are coming to me are busy traveling professionals. And so they prefer to get the videos, get some Skype classes, which there are 5 in there. And then if in case they need more Skype classes, they'll take more. If not, they're happy to go on their own. The third one, which is on the right here, is the new program. And yes, Terry, you're right, it's a 2-day program. And the way this works, it's an intensive one-on-one on Skype. So you have 2 days with me. I'm even thinking that I could do this program in person, depending where I am and where you are. And I don't actually know from the question where you are. But anyway, just for everybody to know that this can also be done in person and as well as on Skype. So you take 2 days of your time, but you would get to the next level, you would get to speak. And so this is not only for people who don't yet speak. This is also for people who do speak but are frustrated that they're not jumping to the next level already. So it is an intensive immersion. It's not for from the very beginner, so it's not for someone who starts from absolute zero, but it is for anybody else who wants to have a breakthrough. And I'm going to talk about these techniques, which are the ones that are mentioned in there. So there are, you know, the rapid vocabulary expansion, how to deal with conversation anxiety, what to do when you don't understand. So there are 8 of them, plus other 8 techniques that I use. So And this program includes pronunciation masterclass and Génie Verbal video collection. If you already have these, of course, you're going to have more time with me on Skype on that intensive. The reason I created this is because a lot of people ask for it. Universities offer intensives like this for 6 hours. My understanding from people who have gone through these programs of 6 hours complete intensive immersion and you get to the next level is that they're very, very painful and the worst experience they could ever have. Of course, if they are groups, it explains why. But this is pretty much what this is. And so this is why I created it for 2 days, because I feel, and I have done already this program. I have ran it with a couple of people. It's brand new, and today you're going to have access to an introductory price, 60% off. I'm gonna give you the link later. But this is the way it works. So I'm just gonna stop sharing. Yeah, okay. So this is the way it works. It is. Everybody who heard about it was very excited, and the people who worked with me on it were very thrilled for the progress that they had. And it's amazing what a jump that creates. I have to tell you that I was amazed to see. I mean, I was foreseeing this to happen. I have done a beta test with someone first, and then I saw the results, and it was just so amazing to see people so happy for having a breakthrough. And because the thing is, when we're learning, we have progress, and the progress is not linear. It's a little bit like this, because it's with the ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. The problem is that it gives you a huge frustration that you don't actually get to, where you could be. And these 2 days are absolute the best way to get a breakthrough. And I understand why universities are doing this too. But I'm doing it much more first of all, it's one-on-one. They are all one-on-one. And so you get my full attention. And also is much more three-dimensional. So you get a lot of coaching depending on your particular level, your particular problems and things that you feel that you have to work on more. So Tara, this was my answer to your cue. All right, let's see the other questions. Yes, that was for Terry. Dan, hi Llyane, can you please give us a quick review of your program? Do you have a new one? And I'm intrigued, thanks. Well, Dan, I actually just did this. So the intensive program is the one that is the most comprehensive program. You have everything there. You are a VIP, you have lifetime access to me afterwards. I'm not sure, I mean, some people are thrilled about this. Other people who are looking for more of a, like, I want right now, everything right now. They don't necessarily look too much into that, what's happening after I'm done with the program. But yeah, that's the most comprehensive. And the video accéléré, yeah, I should share it again. Just share this again with you because, yeah. So I was telling you about these three. So Dan, if you listened, then you see. Now below, so you have here's the questions where you actually can get a free consultation with me just to see if which program is best for you and if we work well. And also look at these additional options, which in a steady pace, you have beginner or intermediate or advanced Skype classes only. Learn on your own, you have downloadables, as well as the most loved program, of course, is the French immersion in Paris. And there's also this option, which some people take advantage of, the first class, just to have 1 hour and to see exactly how we work together. This is something that I'm not sure for how long I'm gonna keep. So if you want to work with me and see, you know, how we work together, that's probably your chance right now to get that. The intensive, again, is the one that gets everything for you and gets you to the point of being an low advanced conversationalist. And Eclair, which is the new one that you mentioned that you noticed. Okay, I'm gonna take away because I really don't want to share the screen today too much. I have been doing this for a while, and I need the connection with you, and I know that you appreciate the connection with me because my lessons are one-on-one. You need to know who you're working with and the energy and the way I speak and I explain. And so this is pretty much the reason I'm doing this webinar, so that you will have your question answered, as well as to get a feel of how it is to, you know, who I am, how am I explaining, and, you know, what's the vibe. Jerry, the problem I found is that I know a fair amount of words. Some say I'm intermediate in conversation. Congratulations. My problem is that sometimes I can't understand when the French speak fast to me, and I have to ask them to slow down. And that is a little unpleasant. Thanks for this. Yes, so there is there is such a thing as an ear training technique, and the ear gets trained, and it takes a long time to get trained. So the way your ear grows to hear better is by exposing it a lot. So a lot of things that I recommend, as everybody recommends, you know, to watch movies, to listen to music, and all that nice stuff, and that's all good. The only problem I have with that is that this is passive listening, which doesn't necessarily involve you too much, and so you know, the function creates the organ. And the way that helps us with the French, with the learning the French, is that you have to understand that everything that we grow, everything that we train, the body is actually operating in the survival mode. So when we, for instance, traumatize enough our muscles with weights, the body in its survival way to reacts and builds the muscles so that it doesn't pain anymore. There's no pain anymore. Singing, the more you force, not force, you know, I mean, the more you sing, right? You do the function of the singing, then the body is going to react in a survival mode and create good vocal cords. The body catches up, and oh, we need this function, so we're going to do this. With French is the same thing, and any other language. So the more you use it, but you actually not just listening, because the body doesn't have to protect itself at all, right? You just listen, and especially if it's in a very pleasant, comfortable, on your sofa, it's gonna be, well, that's all good. I mean, I don't have to do much because we're already okay and comfortable. I'm not saying that you have to get uncomfortable, which you should, but the step that's in between comfortable and uncomfortable would be you trying to speak along with anything that you listen, because when you speak, you're actually deconstructing the listening. And so provided you understand what you listen to, right? So when you practice the listening, do so that you know what you're listening to. That's important, right? Because otherwise it's just music to your ears. And I know that French is really sexy and chic and everything, and it's a pleasure to listen to, regardless of what, you know, people are saying. But if you want to own it, and if you want to use it and perform the speech with French, then you will have to try to put your body, tell your body that you need this for a living in a way, right? And so if you're trying to speak in the same time, then you're gonna hear better. You're gonna, the brain is gonna put these things together. It's gonna have it, oh, I got it. So that sounds like this, and this, you know, he says like that, and it's gonna connect the two, and so you'll hear better. So expose yourself to as much French as you can, and also speak along. When you listen, when you read, everything, just speak along, and that's going to help you a lot with listening. Also, listen from the speaker's point of view. So don't just listen in French is so dangerous. When you listen to someone, and while you listen, you think you know what they're saying, and you prepare your answer. That's the worst, because I just said at the beginning, I don't know, Jerry, if you were listening at the beginning, but I said that when you, French is a contextual language. And so if you're missing any part of the context, when you're thinking about your own answer, that's gonna impact a lot in a negative way. I'm sorry, the conversation with your conversation partner. And so if it's a conversation, so try to listen from the speaker's point of view. You're gonna hear a lot of nuances they're gonna tell you. They're gonna be a lot of good clues for you to get more of what you're hearing. And so those two things combined, they're gonna work really well for you. Diana, I know that I don't need too many words to be able to speak, but somehow I resort all the time to learning even more words. Do you have an advice for what should I do to focus more on the sentence than the vocabulary? Thank you. Well, first of all, stay away from the dictionary. What I suggest is that literally stay away from the dictionary. And so, okay, so do this exercise. Create little stories, or write what you did today, or what you did yesterday, or what do you want to do tomorrow. And as you write what you write, don't look up any word. And if you don't have a word for what you want to say, just explain the expression or the word that you don't know. Just explain it with the words that are coming to you. So there's a shift that you have to make. Don't look for the words, but see what are the words that are already coming to you. So observe, notice, what are the words that are coming to you? And that's going to be shifting your focus, your attention from vocabulary to phrase construction, hopefully. And hopefully that's not going to impact your pleasure into speaking, because right now you get a kick out of the words. And that's adrenaline, right? It's just, you get, oh, I'm good, and I'm doing this, and I don't think so, oh my God. And shifting from words to the phrase construction. If you don't know it too well, it may frustrate you to the point of thinking, oh my God, I don't even know French. I thought I knew, and now I'm starting from zero. So play a little bit with it, okay? So do a little bit of it, of what you usually do, and do a little bit of what I suggest, and mix them up a little bit. So after you get tired of phrase construction that you may not know too well, go into your happy place and do the way you look up your words and everything, so that pleasure and pain, a little bit of a mix up there, and that's going to help you get a little more, use a little more to drop in words and looking for their explanation instead. Excellent. Jenny, I speak fast. I really do. We all do, don't we? And it seems like there is no pleasure in speaking French just because I can't speak fast enough. But to be fluent, I need to go through this slow phase. Tips. Thanks. Jenny, I have to say that the skill that I teach the most is the slowing down. And it's painful for you. I understand that very well. But if you have a little bit of a performer in you, and we all do really, if we let ourselves play a little, it just think about, I mean, take it as if you create a persona, and the French persona speaks slower and the English persona speaks faster. So don't just see French as a language that you use in order to be your own English self, or American, or I don't know. But take it so that you can do anything that you want with French, including changing your own persona and habits and patterns. And don't we all want to look for other patterns and change them and play a little bit with some others, And so do it this way. Try to, and because that's the truth. If you want to get, and I really don't know where you're writing from, but if you want to get a Southern accent, all you have to do is lay back on your chair or armchair and get a big smile and you get Alabama, right? If you want to be a British, to have that persona or accent, then you have to sit up and stiff like this, right? So it's the whole body plays into the accent itself. And so if you want to have a good French accent, you have to say a lot, right? Is that's the shape of the face of the mouth. And look at people who are just speaking French and they stay in that persona. I have a different persona when I speak English than when I speak French. So think about that. Maybe if you play a little bit with it and just think and know that this is literally the truth. This is the truth. You're supposed to have a different rhythm in French. And so if you make peace with that, then eventually you will speak slowly because it's French. It's not going to be for you just a slowing down from English, you see, because you don't know the words. Just say it as I'm just building this French someone. Let's see what it ends up being. It is the truth. Not everybody knows about this, and if we work together, you'd see, the differences between one and the other eventually. Any other tips? Know also that French vowels are much longer than English vowels. I don't do that. I speak long vowels because I like to enunciate everything. Plus, to me, English is a second language. And so in order to master, to control well, the pronunciation of my vowels, I am taking my time with them. So if you're watching my videos, and please do, and notice the way I speak English, well, this should probably be a good lesson for you for what your approach should be in speaking French. So I'm all the time very aware of what I'm saying in English. Nothing comes, well, sometimes it does, but because I speak French and English all the time during the day, my brain shifts all the time. They're both fluent, yet there is a difference between the way I speak English and the way you probably speak English, if English is your mother tongue. So, but know that French does have longer vowels. E, be very careful. E always goes, shifts into E. A is always very short, lengthen it. And so if you're not from Great Britain, it's hard to pronounce. It's going to go into ah. And O, if you're not, Great Britain doesn't have O either, has O, no. So O shifts into O, and U, if you're not from Great Britain, is going to become U. And so, just knowing these things, you have to really be mindful of the way you pronounce everything. Then yes, it's gonna end up being slower because you're gonna take care of your pronunciation, and so it's normal to be so. I hope this answers your question. Kathy, welcome back. Kathy comes to all the webinars. I'm so happy to see you here. Bonjour, Llyane. Do you have any tips on what to do when you just go blank, even though you know the words and sentences learned without reverting to English? Also, what is the best way to politely ask people to slow down so I can understand what they are saying? And sometimes when people speak French, it sounds like a big word mashed together. Merci beaucoup pour votre aide. Avec plaisir. So let's take the first question. What do you do when you just go blank, even though you know the words and sentences learned without ever reverting to English? Yeah, it depends on the situation that you're in. There are several situations that I can think of. So if you know what you want to say, oh yeah, that's probably the situation referred to, because you don't want to revert to English. Maybe it's very interesting to notice when you go blank. First of all, in what environment, what situation? If it's no matter what environment, so that conditions or that criteria goes away, check off, right? Then after what is that happening? As in, does it happen after you looked up a word? Does it happen after you say you have to think about a conjugation, of a verb conjugation? It's so important, because the brain goes blank. It has its rules. We just have to discover them. So what did you just say? You have to really be very aware. The problem with this is that whenever we are blank in such a situation, the problem with that is that we are so taken emotionally by the embarrassment of being blank and not knowing what to say, that we don't necessarily see solutions. Breathe, as I always say, just listen to your breath. But it's still very embarrassing, I know, when someone is waiting for you to speak something, to say something, and you're breathing there. But I guess notice as much as you can. I don't know when this happens. Does it happen with a real person, with a real conversation, a real, French conversation? Does it happen in your exercises that you do for our lessons? Kathy and I were working together. She's one of my dear students. I love her. So I don't know. I don't know, as in, like, I don't know in what conditions this happens. If it's in your exercise, it's easy, because you can then notice what just happened, right, before you went blank. And then if that is very varied and doesn't really show any pattern, then what are you trying to say? Are you trying to translate from English a word that you don't know? Then we go blank, right? And so in that case, try to get used to look for the explanation. And explain with simpler words, right? So it's the technique that I was telling about, having always been prepared to explain in French. And that's okay, because most of the times in French, we don't have a specific term, or many times we don't have a specific term. As you are still learning French, the person you'd speak with would know that you're still learning, and it has to be okay, because if that is not okay, then you are fighting with keeping up appearances, and is like speaking, looking for words, trying to perform here really well, in the same time creating an act for yourself, and that's kind of splitting attentions. And this one is going to take over the creating that, keep up appearances, because that is emotion, has very much emotion attached to it. Be very careful, right? And so if you already tell the person, hey, I'm just learning, and please, bear with me, they'll have patience to wait for you to, explain what you have to explain, and they won't be surprised that you're explaining rather than telling the word that may exist and you may not know. So in case you're still looking for a word you don't know, try to get into the habit or practice looking up explanations with simple words, rather than looking up a specific word that you actually don't know, right? Those are the questions that I got. Well, thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate you being here with me. Fantastic. So I'm gonna continue telling you what I wanted to tell you from the beginning. Let me just 1 second. I'm just going to. Okay. Okay. Because I'm going to give you the link to that program that I told you with 60% off. What that is going to be Eclair, Joëlette Eclair, which otherwise is $11.99, but today, now, for you, it's going to be $4.99. And so, but for that, I just have to log in here in order to give you the link. But what I do want to give you are the techniques that help you start speaking in 2 days, French in 2 days, if you're not speaking already. And if you are speaking already, to jump levels from whatever level you are at to your next level, to have that breakthrough. Just have to log in here to give you the link first. Yeah. And excellent. Okay, great. So I'm logging in because I'm gonna have to give you the link for that. And so please give me questions. I can't wait to see more questions. All right, there we go. Oh, I don't have. Yes, I do. I have an extra question, additional question here. Kathy commented. Let me see what she said. Oh, wait, I didn't answer both questions from Kathy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go right there. I'm going to go right there. So I'm going to answer, Kathy had actually a more complex question there. That's true. So, also without reverting to English, Kathy, just replace the word so, which I just said, with alors. So go alors, right? Very consciously. when you do that, because whenever we're saying so, right, we're buying time. If when you're buying time, you're able to keep yourself into the French, the brain notices, and it's always going to help you. Like I said, if function creates the organ, so the brain seeing your intention of staying in French, it's going to help you stay in French, and it's going to help you look for those little words, simple words that you can explain the word that you don't know, and that blocks you. But there was another question here. The best way to politely ask people to slow down. Est-ce que vous pourriez parler plus lentement, s'il vous plaît? Est-ce que vous pourriez parler plus lentement, s'il vous plaît? I don't have a chat here, but actually I'm going to comment. I'm going to reply to you here, and everybody's going to see it's on the page. You just refresh. So, est-ce que vous pourriez parler plus lentement, s'il vous plaît? So I commented, now you only have to, wait a second, it's not yet up, but yeah, now it is up. So my comment is there with the exactly what you have to say to someone who you want to ask nicely, to speak slower, and this is what you should say. And I have it, and I know you'll learn it really quickly, because it sounds like one big word mushed together. Well, Kathy, if it sounds like one big word mushed together, it means that, and you do, and you just started to learn, and you are doing so great. Really, it is the ear training that makes it. You need more ear training in order to help you hear everything. And just like I answered a thing for Jerry, yes, Jerry, listen from the speaker's point of view, and you're gonna hear a lot of nuances that will help you get more of what they say. A lot of times, even in English, well, it's your mother tongue, of course, but I don't know, if you speak Spanish, I think you do a little bit, but if you don't, or if you don't speak a lot of Spanish, right? When someone speaks, because there are a lot of Spanish speaking people in the US, then when someone speaks fast and knowing a little bit something and just really listening from their point of view, their perspective, you may hear or guess or get more of the context, rather than if you stay in your head thinking, oh my god, I don't understand, oh my god, I don't understand, what did she say, right? And hearing your own thoughts. And so it's about listening, and also ear training, which takes time. And so don't beat yourself up for it. You're gonna get there. Just ask politely for to speak slower, and it's gonna be there gradually. I promise you that's gonna be there. So I'm going to put the link to the program. Yes, right now, just because I know a lot of people already are looking for to get this program. Okay, so I'm putting it right now, and then I'm going to explain the techniques with different examples. So the techniques that I have for this are the techniques that we're going to use in the Eclair, but the examples and the applications are so many. So prize gifts, here it is. There we go. And I'm going to have it there, and you're going to have it. Please go ahead and get it. It's there for you, just because you are into the webinar, and now you have the time. Let me just see if it looks good. Hopefully it does. And I think I have another question here, but first I just want to see that. Okay, surprise gift. Yes, there. And the buy button is right there, $4.99. So right now you guys have it for $4.99, and I'm very thrilled to be able to. Oh, I have more. Hey. 1 second, Kathy. I'm just trying to see what you commented. Don't quite. Kathy, what did you do differently between? Okay, Kathy, I think I got it. Okay. It says, Llyane, what do you do differently between your French and English persona if it's not too personal? What do I do different between? Oh, I see. So Kathy asks about the persona, the French and the English persona. And she says, what do you do differently between your French and English persona? Before I answer this question, just for everybody to know, refresh this page where you see this video, and you're gonna have the Joëlette Eclair available at $4.99 now because it's during the webinar. So take advantage of it right now. And you're gonna hear me speaking, you don't have to. Wow, yeah, you're right. I don't know if it's too personal or, I don't know. I don't think there's a surprise to anybody here who's watching this that I'm also an actor, and it could be. I mean, it is. I know that I have been using techniques like acting techniques to do that, which I also use in my coaching and my teaching. Is for those of you who didn't work with me yet, you don't know, committed impulse, for instance, is an acting technique. So, oh my, that's a really interesting question. It's been so long time when I made those decisions, because I'm not doing it consciously right now. Right now is it just is. But I had made some decisions when I moved to North America. So before moving to North America, I was speaking, well, British English, and I was, like a French person speaking English because I didn't know much of a difference. Just the words were enough, just as it is for you. So for you being here, in North America at home, just using French words is enough of a change for you to feel that you are different, as it was for me when I was in Europe and thinking that speaking English was enough because of the words. But when I came here, so first of all, it was the stress of the word, which Kathy, we talked about. So for everybody, it's about knowing that English stresses the words at the beginning of the word, typically first or second syllable, and in French stresses the word at the end of the word, typically the last or the second last syllable. And so this is very useful for those words who are the same in both languages. So how do you say international, right? International. So look at this. This is an exception, but I don't know, it doesn't come to me right now, so I don't want to keep your time right now, but there are words that are the same. Okay, let me think. I have to think of a word. Okay, creative. And in French is créative, right? Creative, créative, creative, right, on the second syllable. In French, créative, right, créative at the end, creative, creative, right? And so it's the same word. And so to me, that I remember that came to me after a few years of struggle here, and I didn't know why is people are not understanding what I'm saying, because I knew the words were right. They couldn't, because I was placing the stress on the word at the end of the word and instead of at the beginning. And as soon as I realized that I was doing this with awareness, people started to understand me more. I imitated a lot, but to me here, I was in full immersion. And so a lot of the things were coming just out of the immersion, rather than making a decision. But the stress on the word was a decision. And yeah, mimicking people, right? As they say, if you do what a successful person does, just appear and have that attitude, eventually you're gonna do what they do to have that attitude, that kind of thing. But I'm sorry, I just don't remember exactly what we can break down, but it has to be, I can't say anything for like that would, I guess, help everybody. But the stress on the word is definitely helpful. But for other things, it's very personal, you're right. And so I would have to work with you separately and with everybody separately so that we identify that. I believe that you asked me another question here. Oh, la la. So let me see here. Is there a special program? Let me just approve it. All right. She's asking, is there a special program for more ear training exercises, or is it just a matter of trying to listen to YouTube or other videos outside of the courses I have signed up for with you? Merci beaucoup. Kathy, this Eclair program is definitely one that I would recommend, because it is tailored for everybody's level. So the moment you have, you are at a certain level, and the moment you spend these 2 full days, which could be in weekend, they can be together, they can be apart. They don't have to be together. We can also do it so that we don't find 2 full days. We can have like 4 half days or something like that. It's flexible. It's complete flexible and immersion and personalized. But because this is the one thing that you feel that you should work on more, this is the one thing that we will work on more. So this Eclair program is the one that gets you from the level you are at to get the breakthrough into whichever part of the language you feel that you need a breakthrough, right? So if this, let me see what you say here. Ear training, yeah. So if ear training is the one part where you need that breakthrough, that's what we're gonna do, the Eclair. We're focusing that like 2 full days on that. And yeah, absolutely, go for it. Excellent, I'm so happy for you. Just refresh, just make sure that I don't miss something. So, oh my God, all the time has passed. Okay, because the time passed, so I'm going to have this Juliette Eclair. It's going to be here. The link will be for the full day for you guys. So 12 midnight, the link will disappear to this $4.99. So Kathy, take it because it's going to go away. And everybody else who want to have a breakthrough. But I do want to give you like a recap of the techniques that are also visited if you need. So again, this Eclair is absolutely 100% customized because it is your level that we are breaking. And so we're going to your next level, whichever that is. But I'm going to just recap things that you may want to use. So for those who, I don't want to go for the learn the basics. So if you are not already into the basics, so you don't have any basics, you need to learn the basics. And how to pick up the essentials of French in a couple of hours. Simple techniques for memorizing words or phrases. The best started resources for French. A lot of downloadables and a lot of resources are coming with this Eclair. Rapid vocabulary expansion for, who was it, Diana? Diana, I have this for you. So how to expand your vocabulary by thousands of words for free with no memorizing. A new way of thinking that makes communication easy. Your French conversation, your first French conversation. So if you never made a conversation with someone, this is the how to drop your shyness and just start talking. So those are techniques. Those, I mean, I have a lot on each of them, but I'm just telling you what we can address. And tell me if I'm missing something. I'm gonna include it. Whatever it is that you tell me that I'm missing, that's what I'm gonna include. Tips for beating conversation anxiety. If you're wondering what to say, what do I say, as Kathy was saying here, you know, the ways to make your first conversation go smoothly. I just think that this doesn't work too well for me. Okay, good. How to keep the conversation going when you run out of vocabulary. And Kathy, you actually just asked that, right? So what do you do when you go blank? How to keep the conversation going when you run out of vocabulary. I said that. Simple scripts to keep the words flowing. I don't know the right grammar. So if you don't know the right grammar, how to let yourself make mistakes without tripping over them, and what people in other cultures have you need and how to get it. And the most efficient way to learn grammar is absolutely simple, easy, fast. And those are things and tricks and secrets of linguists that I'm sharing with you. Again, if this is what you want to have a breakthrough on, right? You may have different places, like Kathy, she wants your training. We will focus on your training. If for you grammar is, how do I learn grammar faster? I hate grammar. I never learned grammar. Well, I'm going to show you exactly how to maneuver the grammar and how to actually use the resources in order for you to assimilate everything without actually resorting to English grammar. And that's really important. What do you do when you don't understand? And that was Jerry saying. So the pick out technique that makes sense of almost anything. How to spot cues that give away what is being said. I was mentioning earlier. Why the real world is different from a language exam. A lot of you have been passing exams or want to pass exams. And then after it, and just a big surprise, hey, the real world really is not like in the exam, and it's absolutely, I guess the real world is in a way the complement of, it's complementary to the exam world. And so you need to know exactly how to tackle that. What if I forget the word I need? Kathy, that was for you too. The 4-year-old speaking hack, no fear over analyzing. How to avoid ums and ahs. No English, Kathy, you too. So I'm not just Kathy, but just because she asked this question, I'm referring to her because she was saying that. How to avoid the temptation to fall back onto your English. What to do if people speak English to you, which may happen if you go this month to Paris. A simple secret to masking your accents, okay? So this was, all those things can be done into the Eclair. I strongly recommend that you get it. You're gonna deal with me, and so if you liked the way I explained everything here, I would love to have you into my big family of Joëlette Adorable. This is how I call my people from my Facebook page. They're like, now I think there are like 27,000 people there, and they are all adorable, as well as you, because you're staying here. And And you know, you are part of my family. And so I would love to have you and to help you master all these things. And Joëlette Eclair is at 60% off, an introductory price today for you because you're on the webinar, and the link is under this video. So please click and sign up. This is not gonna stay like this. $11.99 is on the website, and I did have signups, and but this is just because you made the time on a Sunday night or Monday morning for Australia to attend this webinar and to be here with me and with everybody else. So I thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate every single soul that I hope that I touch, and I hope that I make a difference so that you make a lot of friends and you travel and you impress your family and your friends and everybody else in your life. Impress yourself, first of all, and you know, show yourself and everybody else you can pull this off, and I'm here to help you all the way, every step of the way. So thank you so much again for joining. I cannot wait to see you into Joëlette Eclair. Push the buy now button on the bottom here of the page. This is going to disappear tonight. So I love you very much for being here. Thank you for coming, and I will see you next time. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.